Okay, so before we actually install OpenCore, there's one thing we're going to need so that our OpenCore agent can actually function and respond to us, and that's AI Brain. So for this, you need to have a LLM API key. An LLM, if you don't know, is a large language model. You'll know ChatGPT. That's what an LLM is. It's a model that you can chat to and talk to. It generates natural language and you communicate it to it with natural language. And this is the brain that works behind the scenes of OpenCore. OpenCore is what's called an orchestrator. It utilizes large language models to act and do its work and respond to you and talk to you. So we need to set up one of these. There's many out there. There's ChatGPT, OpenAI's models, there's Claude's models, and then there's other models like what we're going to be using, which are Kimi. The reason I chose to use Kimi and the reason I recommend it to you to get started with is that it's very cheap to run. If you're going to use, say, the best models that are out there, things like Opus 4.6 or OpenAI's Codex, GPT 5.3, these are very expensive to operate. And also, Claude, Anthropic, who owns Claude, has recently come out and said that you are not allowed to use their subscription plans for using OpenCore, which means that you're stuck with using their API, which is very, very expensive compared to their subscriptions. So it's definitely not recommended for you to start with that. OpenAI has come out and said that they're okay with you using their subscriptions. So that's another option you can use. Codex is one of the best models out there. But what we're going to do is just use Kimi, which is a much cheaper model but has very powerful capabilities. And it's just really easy to get started with. And then later on, if you want to experiment with other models, you can plug them all in. And you don't need to choose just one. You can actually have your agent choose whichever one is best for the job. So for instance, if you want to do a programming task or something, you may choose to use your Opus 4.6 or your GPT 5.3 or something else. But if you just want your like daily, you just want to talk to it and to discuss plans of things, you could use like another model like this Kimi one. This Kimi one is not too bad with coding either, and it's very cheap to run and you can use your subscription. So that's why it's really great, and I've been using it and it's been perfectly fine. So to get started with Kimi, just go to kimi.com and then you should see a screen like this. You'll be able to have a play around with it. But once you sign up, you'll choose a plan. So I'll just go to where it shows the plans. You can just start with this one, $19 a month. That's plenty to get started with. I'm currently on this one just because I wanted to do a bit of coding with it, but just get this moderato. Once you've got that, what you're going to do is you're going to come to this sidebar and you'll see where it says Kimi code. I want you to click on that and it's going to bring you to this place, and this is where you can use what's called their CLI, which is a command line interface. If you're familiar with Claude Code, it's basically the same thing but for Kimi. We don't need that though. What we need is to click up here on console, and this is where we're actually going to get our API key. So I've already got one for my current agent, but we're going to need to create a new API key. So let's click here and we'll just call this whatever you want. I'm going to call it OpenCore, actually Core Scalars, OpenCore. Let's go create. And now we're going to get our API key. So you don't want to share this with anyone. I'm going to be deleting this after I finish recording this video. But for now, we're going to we'll actually leave this open for now. You can just copy it to a text file, but I'll just leave it open. And we'll go straight into installing OpenCore and utilizing this. So I'm going to be back in a moment and we'll start setting up OpenCore.